moment, we haven't found anyone else.
The U.S. Coast Guard suspends the search for several missing people after a Ponga boat capsizes off the coast of Torrey Pines State Beach.
This proposal is not just irresponsible, it's dangerous.
Your next chance to weigh in on the city's proposed budget cuts.
If you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back.
How much money the government is offering undocumented migrants to self-deport?
100 twice in like a week was crazy.
How many tickets the city has given out over the new daylighting law? It's 6 a.m. on Tuesday, May 6th, and you're up with CBS 8. Always appreciate you joining us. 6 a.m. now. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampor. And yeah, hopefully you're enjoying this morning so far. Weather-wise, it looks like things are going to be pretty nice this week. Evan Narati, hi.
Hi, beautiful week ahead.
Okay,
I mean, today is still kind of, we talked about how yesterday was a day of transition.
Right.
Looks like we're really slow on that transition today.
Still
We're holding on
transitioning.
to a good amount of cloud cover. We've got temperatures still in the 60s this afternoon, but by tomorrow, that's really where we're going to start to notice that warm-up kind of kick in. And that's where we're going to start to jump into the 70s. By the time we get to Thursday, there are going to be some upper 70s, low 80s possible, including out over the mountains. And then when we talk about Friday and Saturday afternoon, the temperatures that you see here could be at about a 20-degree difference from what we're expected to see by the time we get to this upcoming weekend. Satellite radar showing a bit of cloud cover out there, especially across North County, moving down to downtown. From downtown to the international border, we're seeing a little bit of clearing, and there are even a few showers, but they're way off to the east of us. Coming up, we'll talk about what the rest of the week looks like and what today could look like in terms of when these clouds are going to be leaving us. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Evan. And now a new development from overnight. The Coast Guard has suspended its search for 7 people reported missing after a Ponga overturned near Torrey Pines State Beach.
As of this morning, 3 people are confirmed dead. And CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at Torrey Pines State Beach with everything we do know at this hour here. Regina?
Well, Eric and Etta, this is just a tragic incident that happened north of Torrey Pines State Beach. I can tell you that law enforcement says 2 of the passengers are children. We don't know the status of those 2 minors, but the U.S. Coast Guard, as of Monday night, reporting that they have suspended the search of those 7 missing people. We actually have the call showing the initial response once authorities noticed what was happening.
We'll Ponga on the beach. We have up to 18 patients.
So this is video of yesterday morning just north of Torrey Pines State Beach. According to Encinitas Fire Department, authorities believe 18 people were on the boat when it overturned. As sheriff's deputies arrived on scene, they found 3 people dead, along with 3 others with moderate injuries and 1 in critical condition. The 4 injured were transported to local hospitals. After interviewing the injured survivors, first responders were able to determine that at least 7 more people were unaccounted for. But as of last night, the U.S. Coast Guard has suspended the search for those passengers. Now, yesterday, around 9 in the morning, the Ponga boat was dragged onto the shoreline in Del Mar, just close to where we're standing right now. Inside the vessel, we noticed shoes of passengers, life vests, empty fuel tanks. There was still a strong smell of fuel, and the motor we noticed was pretty badly damaged, even wrapped in duct tape. The sheriff's department later hauled the boat off of the sand in Del Mar. But here's what residents who were walking nearby tell us.
Not the time to question why they came over, although I know that they came over for a better life. We don't know what their situation was in whatever country they came from.
Now, the sheriff's department tell us they have not detained anyone at this time. There's no further information, but some of the people that we spoke to yesterday who live near here, they tell us those style of boats are very, very similar to the ones that they've seen in the past of people trying to get into the U.S. without the proper authorization. But that has not been confirmed with law enforcement. What we do know is that this case has been passed over to the Department of Homeland Security. We'll keep you guys updated with more details, but as of right now, that is the latest coming from Del Mar. I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. This morning, San Diego County is considering dipping into its reserves.
It's something supervisors will be discussing in just a few hours from now. CBS 8's Chris Guo joining us live downtown to explain how this would work. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And look, let's start with the fact that they are facing a budget deficit. And like many local municipalities, they're trying to fix that and trying to fill in the gap, so to speak, without having to make too many cuts. Now, this is a proposal that's been put forth as of just last Friday by Monica Montgomery Stepp, the supervisor, as well as Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer, in order to try to do that. Now, they believe that because of uncertainty in Washington, D.C., as well as a rocky economy and the budget deficit, that there are several county services that could face cuts, and they want to try to make sure that they can bridge those gaps. So they want to unlock about more than $350 million from reserve funds to make sure that server cuts do not happen. Now, in order to do that, there is another amendment, so to speak, that is up for vote and up for approval today. They would change how it is that reserve funds can be accessed, how it is that they are grouped, and the rules behind accessing them. Now, as we have pointed out for quite some time now, there are only 4 members on the board, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. Supervisors Desmond and Anderson have been vocal critics of this, especially because of the timing, but then also because of the spending. They believe, or at least Supervisor Desmond has voiced, that they believe that they need to reduce spending, not continue to see that spending happen when they face these economic measures. But this is why the District 1 supervisor race is actually so important. That happening in July between Democrats Paloma Aguirre and Republican Chula Vista Mayor John McCann. If this vote is not approved today, if it's not a 3-1 vote, and if it's a 2-2 split, then that means in July, when this is likely that this could be something that the next supervisor that fills the District 1 seat could potentially tilt a vote into either favor, right? So if you have that third Democrat, if they're on board with a move like this, then this could potentially tilt that. Of course, that election not happening until late in July, and how the budget timeline, the scheduling is going, it remains to be seen if that's all going to align. But at this time, we do know that the supervisors will be voting on the reserve funding, changing those rules. That'll be happening later today. Eric Annetta.
All right, Chris, thanks for the latest. Budget meetings for the city of San Diego are set to continue this morning. Yesterday, people had their chance to speak out and demanded that proposed cuts be rolled back. This comes as the city faces an anticipated budget shortfall of $258 million. Potentially on the chopping block, library hours, some homelessness services, cutbacks to recreation centers and youth services, and removing beach fire pits. One of the most contentious proposed cuts includes closing the Northwestern Police substation in Carmel Valley. According to the draft document, the adjustments include the reduction of a police captain, lieutenant, detective, and 3 police sergeants.
There's still time to make the right choice. You can easily find something less essential than a police station for a budget cut.
Police Chief Scott Wall previously told me all impacted communities would still have full coverage. These budget review hearings will continue through the week. The revised budget should be unveiled by May 14th, with a chance to weigh in on that at another public hearing on May 19th. The final budget is expected to be approved by June 10th. The budget hearing for Parks and Recreation will take place in today's session. We're getting more details on the locations and numbers of public restrooms that would close under the mayor's proposed budget. The city tells us they include 13 in Mission Bay Park, 5 along the shoreline parks, 7 in Balboa Park, and the Gaslamp Square restroom. The city says these closures are due to staffing and funding cuts.
Today, the County Board of Supervisors will vote on whether or not to support proposed legislation to address the South Bay sewage crisis. Vice Chair Tara Lawson-Remer wants the county to support State Senate Bill 10. It would allow Sandag to allocate toll revenue. That toll would be from truck drivers at the soon-to-open Otay Mesa East port of entry, and then that money would go to clean the Tijuana River Valley. Lawson-Remer also wants to support a House bill that would let the International Boundary and Water Commission accept funding from state and local entities. Right now, Representative Scott Peters says the agency mostly relies on money from Congress. This morning, a toxic algae bloom that we've been reporting on impacting many marine animals is starting to subside. So glad to report at least some good news here. For weeks, we've reported domoic acid has been making sea lions, whales, dolphins all sick, many of them dying. Researchers at Scripps Institution of Oceanography say recent rain and water movement from storms has helped break up this bloom. Over the last 2 months, SeaWorld San Diego has taken in 64 affected sea lions, more than 50 pelicans, and 6 dolphins to be treated. And now they say the number of sick animals coming in is down to a couple per week. At one point, they were getting 100 calls a day. So at least, yeah, the water is kind of clearing out.
Yeah, it's tough to see those cute creatures on our bays, right?
Exactly.
Suffering from that.
It's hard to help them when there's 100 calls.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We needed that rain, though, so
Yes.
thankfully we got that.
we got some rain, exactly. It looks like we're now headed for a pretty decent dry stretch across San Diego County over the next 7 days at the very least. Looking at satellite radar imagery across the greater Southern California region, we've got a few showers that have popped up along the California and Arizona border, along with the California-Nevada border, but out toward our coastline from LA all the way down through San Diego, we're actually looking very nice out there, just hanging on to a good amount of cloud cover that will ease as the day continues. Take a look at your forecast highs. We should make it to the low 70s in just a couple select spots, but otherwise widespread 60s expected. Santee and El Cajon looking at a high of 71. Chula Vista 66 along with National City, 64 for PB. A little cooler in La Jolla this afternoon at 62 degrees. Taking you up to North County, Oceanside shooting for a high of 68. Palomar Mountain still quite cool at 59 degrees. The mountains are going to notice a really dramatic warming trend in the coming days as that ridge of high pressure starts to expand overhead. So our mountains and deserts are going to be two spots where we watch for about a 20 to 30 degree transformation from this afternoon all the way through this upcoming weekend. Take a look at where your current temperatures are right now, mostly in the 40s, 50s, couple low 60s out there in LA, for example. Palm Springs also at 62, but we in San Diego are at about 57 degrees to start off the day. Here's that 5-day forecast that shows a rapid warming trend along our inland valleys as we go from the 60s today to the 70s, 80s, and maybe even to 90 degrees by the time we get to Saturday. Saturday will be our peak, and then after that, we'll start to see temperatures slide. Let's jump into traffic. A bunch of crashes to take you to. Quite a busy start to the morning. First thing I want to mention is what's at the top of your screen here. We got the right-hand shoulder blocked with a crash on the 15 southbound. This is right before the 163, no major backups in either direction. Starting to see some minor slowing on the bottom of your screen, that crash there. That's on Home Avenue southbound at the 805. Also want to take you to a crash that we brought you to about 30 minutes ago that is still being worked on by CHP. Right-hand shoulder is still blocked with a crash on the 15 northbound at Gopher Canyon Road. Again, plus side to all of these crashes. Number one, no one was injured. There are no reports of injuries with any of these. But number two, that volume is still very light this morning. So hopefully we can get all these cleared before volume starts to pick up. Looking at your border wait times, 95-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is going to run you about 110 minutes, so nearly 2 hours in total.